So let me maneuver a bit towards Rakesh, who is having vast experience in handling customers as well as handling own people within the organization. So Rakesh, could you please give some glimpse how data analytics or data science will be helping with the help of AI and all for customer experience, because that is also a part of HR role where you can delve into organizational growth. Could you please give?
So looks like we are the panel between you and your lunch. Not a great place to be at, but I'll start with three things and third will be the answer. Two will be the point. So first is having graduated from Bangalore way back in 1995, I was working with Deutsche Bank. That's how I met Vishwa. One of the veteran batches was not getting placed. So we got a distress call saying batch of 30, 15 not finding placement. And I come from a bit of pseudo veteran. CRPF cantonment is where I studied in MP, a small town called Neemuch, and my father-in-law is a BSF IG. So I said, this can't be happening in this country, right? I mean, these people do so much. We came to the campus, interviews were lined up, and we hired everybody without interview. All 15 people. I may have the smallest team in Deutsche Bank, and Vishwa and me connected on that, and those people were the brightest bulbs in the chandeliers. They learned things, they were engineers and all kind of backgrounds. The best part about veterans, nobody has said that since morning. At workplace, they have zero nuisance value. They don't complain. They never get into sexual harassment complaints. They're gentlemen, right? They're people who are brought up differently. They have basic discipline and the DNA. So I'm a big fan, one. Second is, as Sheshadri said, he's not a politician. I disagree. I think you have the borderline characteristics of that. But very energizing speech. But having gone to an IIT way back, IIT Delhi 92, passed out from the same place, 95 PGP, I could have gone to any country I wanted. I started my career in Paris, then US and China, a lot of countries, multiple passports. But as somebody who has grown up in a CRPF Kendriya Vidyalaya background, 15 rupees, I believed I have to give something back to the country. I stayed here, I kept traveling, but I kept my roots, and I can tell you that all my batchmates used to make fun of me because I used to have my second-hand Honda bike. When these guys had their second-hand Mercedes Benzes there, they're calling for looking for jobs now in India. So India's rocking. So as veterans, while we are protecting the country, we're building the country, because employment is where the country is defined. So most of us carry those physical scars of being assaulted in UK and Europe, and we're shifting manufacturing, physically assaulted. So we have gone through a lot of that, and today we are in a place where we can talk comfortably about jobs and employment, economy, while Mr. Modi takes all the credit. But yeah, it's a lot of us unsung heroes, as you rightly said. Third, to your point, for the first time in human history, the personal technology has taken over the workplace technology. As Rajita made a very good comment from Kyndryl about AS400, it got me goosebumps. Every time I joined a bank, whether HSBC or Wells Fargo or JP Morgan Chase, I was told we have better technology. And every time I went on the floor, I could see COBOL, Foxbase, Pascal, Fortran. And I said, hey, we haven't moved much, because banks have grown inorganically, and they never integrated systems. But fintech is where banks have jumped in. I'll come to customer experience in next 2 seconds, but you look at your apps, you look at Make My Trip, you book, your Book My Show, 100% stay throughput. You don't make calls, you don't send mails, and tickets, airlines, everything is 100% STP. But office technology is still very back end. But that's an opportunity. If it wasn't there, many of us won't have jobs. So it's a good problem to have. Coming to customer experience, most banks have realized that it's an experience economy now. Customers are also being threatened, whether it's blockchain or peer-to-peer lending. I'll not even go towards ChatGPT and AI, but there's a significant amount of bastions have been taken away by the new entrants, right? What banks are doing is, because banks culturally don't have an ecosystem of innovation, they often pilot an ecosystem where a team like T-Hub in Hyderabad, if anybody from Hyderabad here, you must visit Hyderabad T-Hub. It's an amazing place, yeah? That's where innovation happens. You bring people, like-minded people, and coming to the experience and technology and where do veterans fit in, I'll not bring long stories because I'm already getting dirty looks from Venu here, is that Veterans bring a contrarian point of view. There is a saying in corporate that when everybody is thinking alike, nobody is thinking. So I have come across a lot of people who raise hands and have the courage to say, this might be a stupid question, but why didn't you try this? And all of us are looking like idiots at each other. Why didn't we think about this? So diverse teams are better teams. Once you go to the corporate world, be heard, raise your hand, make some noise, because most of the people who are hiring you to have a contrarian view. And also in terms of technology, Venu, I'll only say that personalization is a big focus right now. Everybody wants to be treated as if this bank is only working for me. We don't want to be treated as a mass customer.
So you nicely brought out one concept that for achieving effective customer experience, you should have the diversified teams and collaboration among themselves. Actually, that is a beautiful point, because I would like to connect with you exactly with the defense. For example, I have worked for the strategic sector and defense sector as well. When they come with a project proposal, we scientists ask the question, okay, what is the missile program, for example? Is it surface to surface, surface to air, or air to air kind of thing? Then we go to the conceptual design of the things. And we take a lot of iterations in the meetings to freeze the technical configuration, the dimensions, etc., etc. But there is a requirement of the team's capability because I need to convince my client that my team is capable of delivering this thing within the prescribed time and the budget allotted, all those things. So that's where it is very important for the team building, well qualified and matching with your requirements kind of thing. So again, for this purpose, there is a lot of things that we need to delve into the teams, how collaborative or cooperative with each other. So my question to Nilesh, how important is that having empathical relations among the teams for a common goal?
Of course, the gratitude to all the defense people, gratitude to this education system. The differentiator for our country is our education system. So I'm so happy to sit here. Talking about startups, a very near and dear topic to me. I started my first startup in 1994, way ahead of time. I started my career there. I didn't give my last year's exam one paper so that my parents don't force me to take a job and I could start my own business. In 1998-99, I started a first edtech company, which was way ahead of a lot of edtech companies right now. 3 years before Shadi.com, I had a product called mangalghatika.com. Well, all of them failed. And I say my failures are much bigger than my successes, and I'm proud of it. So after that, I came into corporate world, worked with Microsoft since Schlumberger's, and currently heading a company which is Pattern. This is a very sweet spot. The company is at a very sweet spot. 2 years ago, it was a startup. 3 years apart from this, it's going to be a big company. So we sit in something between. So I know how the startups worked. I know how the big companies work. So I'm going to get this company from X to Y. And that was my pitch to a CEO when I was hired. We call it as a scaling company. Now talking about empathy, one of the things I want to ask all of you, and I did this. How many of you have said thank you to ChatGPT after the answer was given? Yes, I have done that. I never did to Google for last 10-15 years. It also helped me. The tools are becoming more empathetic. And that is one of the most important things. So yes, empathy is certainly required. So basically what we really do is, in our organization, one of the philosophies that we go ahead with is, we seek apology, not permission. So every team member has got ability to go ahead and take those decisions. And when those decisions fail or success, what we do is we go ahead and try to connect with the process of taking that decision. And let me explain you what I actually mean to do with this. This goes back to the story for myself. This was somewhere 8th or 9th. My mother used to tell me that you should study. Every mother does that. And she specifically said, go study maths. And I never did that. After the exam, the final exam, my results came in and I got 96.5% of marks. I said, good. I go back to my mother and I show her, see? And she said, And that was biggest surprise in my life. I wish you would have failed. I said, what the hell? You wanted me to be successful, and now you say, I wished you had failed? She said, see, the results that you have got and the process of getting that results are mismatching. Throughout your life, you will connect this process that I don't study and I get successful is going to be hampering on your head. So don't be happy with these results. We do the same in our team. Every time there is a success or a failure, we try to associate it with some process. We convert that process into a core, and then we make our people challenge that core every time we do it. And that's how we align our teams.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So one key takeaway from your explanation, I take it that the failure is just a feedback to move ahead. For
the well-intended failure.
Yes, perfect. Thank you. So let me come back to Rakesh. Quickly, can you just give some glimpse of engaging such kind of novel technologies and new technologies in an industry? What are the challenges that you face generally, and what are the advantages or disadvantages?
Okay, so to all the veterans here, let me first demystify AI, right? There's a lot of AI being spoken about, and I have seen that less a person knows, the more they talk about AI. And that's happening in the industry because it's a very loosely used term. It happens, transformation, everybody's doing transformation, everybody's doing change in AI. So I'm one of the old school will make people code on a whiteboard to check during the interviews because it's all about talent. In fact, one of my candidates came and, sir, I'll speak in Hindi. जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन कुछ और था, जॉब पे कुछ और निकला. सो मैंने बोला रेज्यूमे भी कुछ और था, तुम भी कुछ और निकले. So on everything you said, machine learning इतना किया, 0 on 10, 10. You don't know basics of it. So naturally, a lot is happening. To your question, there are 3 concepts you should remember in terms of demystifying AI. Rule-based processes, when they are automated, that's AI 1.0, which is robotics. Information and judgment-based processes, when they get automated, that's called AI 2.0. There's element of OCR, optical character recognition, there's a bit of data sciences, Hadoop, Altrisk, what have you, as well as a lot of intelligent APIs. That's second. When you have strategy-based innovation and sentiment-based creative processes get automated, which is AI 3.0, which is your chat GPT, Gen AI. Today you can look at a food item, take a picture, it'll tell you nutritional value of that. And that's very spooky because looking at the object recognition, it's telling you about what is possible is going to be. So AI 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. Coming to a point, Venu, is setting up the context. And a lot of this, as Reena rightly said, is low code, no code. You don't need any brains to configure. It's all configuration-based softwares, whether UI path or automation anywhere or Blue Prism. You can configure using drop-down. So a lot of people will tell you stuff, but go read about them. The biggest problem is you think that individual and expert. I'm not, because you're not reading enough. Like Jesus Christ said, search and you will find. So please use Google intelligently. On the first comment I walked into the room, somebody talked about learning and development. I can tell you one thing, that while I topped from my Bangalore class of 95, you'll find the name somewhere on the boards. I think the education when I went to the job was not relevant at all. Any profs here? I hope they'll throw something at me. I know G. Shanesh very well because my batchmate is the dean. But I can assure you that what IM teaches you is not about education. What it teaches you here? Discipline, following a lot of rules, collaboration and partnerships, right? And I believe that the people, after 30 years, I can tell you, the people who are doing exceptionally well in life were nowhere in the top 100 ranking. They're all bottom rankers. So I'm not saying don't focus on academics, I'll be kicked out from here. But I can tell you, use this time in the campus to make friends, do events like these, build bridges. Somebody said connect on LinkedIn. Because I can tell you, academics only teaches how to solve a problem. This is one skill. It's irrelevant at workplace. Everything will be learned there. And on education and learning, most of the workplaces, and it applies same to me, because this field is moving Venu so fast that if I have to keep pace, and Nilesh and others will relate to that, I have to go and learn every alternate quarter. So I sit in certification programs. I mean, I started with coding in my college days, but I realized that that coding is irrelevant now, right? World has moved to Python and others, Hadoop and all. But and it's a struggle. I can tell you at 50, learning is very difficult. I have a small daughter and she always makes fun of me because we sit in tests and fail, but you have to go through that. On learning at workplaces, the learning has moved from push to pull now. Nobody will spoon feed you in terms of read this, read that. Sky is the limit. Go to Google, go to ChatGPT. I can tell you, you have power of gods at your fingertips. Make sure that every day or every week or every month, you have a learning calendar of your own. And I'm telling you, you'll thrive in the workplace. And there are AR, VR, virtual reality, you have metaverse and all of that. But there are instruments out there. Don't be lazy. Go explore. As people in the 40s and 50s, I can tell you, we are slightly analog in our lifestyle. I started with typewriters, and here I am leading transformation for large banks. But make sure that you tell yourself in the morning one thing, that it's uphill, but I'll do it.